What's up, everyone? Welcome back. So today in this Pinball in a Feature presentation, I want to talk to you about the Ghostbusters movie, the first one that released in theaters in 1984, and then we'll go into the Pinball Machine released by Stern in 2016, based on the franchise as well. So before I go into all of this, I just want to say I really enjoy these pinball in a movie doing these videos because I get to watch a movie, I get to see the pop culture around that time, and basically I'm going full circle because now I've seen the movie, I've played the actual table, the real table, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, and I've now played the digital pinball version a few times. And just doing all these things really makes you appreciate all three things even more. You know, now that I've seen the movie, I can appreciate all the sound effects, the artwork, and the toys, because, you know, seeing the movie, it really makes you understand all the little cutscenes that are in the DVD. And, you know, this movie is one of the most popular supernatural comedies in film history. And so I just had to see it. It's just one of those movies where it's like, you know, you're kind of, you're left out of the loop if you haven't seen it, you know. So first, let's just talk about some of the facts about the movie itself. Some generalized facts, then I'll give my opinion, what I thought about it, and then we'll go into the table, and then we'll play the actual table. This will be the Stern Pinball Arcade version. This one's a little newer. It's pretty much the same version you'll find on TPA. So let's get right into it. So Ghostbusters, the film, the first movie, was released in theaters in June of 1984. The genre was considered a supernatural comedy film, and it was directed by a man named Ivan Reitman, and it was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. And so, what's interesting is that the two writers also starred in the movie. So you had Bill Murray, Aykroyd, Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis. So very interesting that to see the writers also play major roles as the Ghostbusters. Bill Murray was pretty funny in his role. Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis did their roles well, and you know, Sigourney Weaver. No surprise that she wasn't a supernatural sci-fi kind of comedy either. She, as you know, she was in the Aliens movies, and I gotta say, as I was watching the movie, I had a little crush on her. I mean, she looked really, like, you know, frankly quite beautiful for you know, the way she appeared in the movie. Not when she turned into Zool, but you know, I think there's something to say about her features as an actress. I think you know, she has these long features, and so I can see why she kind of adds like a spicy element, you know, to I think even in the Alien movie, you know, the director kind of portrayed her, portrayed her as kind of like a sexy figure. So but yeah, I really like seeing her in the movie. I think she did pretty well, and definitely she played her when she turned into the when she was possessed. She looked really like playing that role well as well. So some interesting things about this movie from Wikipedia was that it was supposed to star John Belushi. It was supposed to be John Belushi and Aykroyd venturing through space and time, battling supernatural threats. But John Belushi passed away, so Harold Ramis was hired to rewrite the script to make it kind of more quote unquote realistic. Before, it wasn't really. I think the original script that Aykroyd had written was a lot more like futuristic or crazy. So Ramis was hired to rewrite the script to make it more realistic and doable. Also, it was the first comedy to use a lot of expensive special effects. So even for a 1984 film, as I watched this, kind of crazy, all the special effects that they have, but very expensive. And you think about it, I mean, I'm not comparing movies today, comedy movies today, but even comedy movies today don't really have a lot of quote unquote, crazy special effects. And it's kind of interesting to me because it made me think, do comedy movies themselves aren't really built on special effects. They're mostly on, the characters themselves and dialogue, right? So special effects really doesn't play a huge role. I would say it doesn't really play a huge role in comedy films, but Ghostbusters was kind of special in that respect because it was a supernatural comedy, which I thought was really cool, interesting. And its budget, it grossed. I mean, it had a $25 to $30 million budget, but it grossed about $282.2 million in box office. So really did well in theaters. It was the number one film in theaters for 7 consecutive weeks. And hearing that, reading that, reminded me that how much different is cinema now, where we can stream new movies relatively fast. And so, when new movies come out now, you really don't hear about them as much because there's always another one coming out in another week, and people don't even go to movies to watch them anymore. People are streaming them from their homes. So it's just kind of reminding me back in the day before you had streaming, when movies would come out. First of all, they wouldn't come out as rapidly as they do now because of technology. So not only would they not come out as fast, but when they came out, they were in theaters for a long time, and so people would talk about them. Whereas now it's like, oh, you saw that movie? And people like, there's it's changed so much in that sense, right? So yeah, also this Ghostbusters has been huge success franchise-wise. It had an animated TV series in 1986 called The Real Ghostbusters. Video games. There's been board games, comic books, music, haunted attractions. I know there's a Ghostbusters game on Steam that released recently. I'm just looking at it now. The video game remastered looks like it came out in 2019, so really cool to see that there. And not only that, but you have there's a Ghostbusters 2 that came out in 1989. There was a 2016 reboot, but it underperformed. There's been a Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was supposed to be a direct sequel to the 1984 film, which came out in 2021. And most recently, Ghostbuster Frozen Empire, which released in 2024. So I've added all those to my watch list. I'm hoping to get around to all of them, but I'm just happy that I've been able to see the first one. What else can I say here? So, about my thoughts about the film, I thought it was a good movie. I mean, I wasn't like, I wasn't ecstatic. I wasn't. There were some fairly boring parts, but overall, pretty solid movie for 1984. Had some there was comedy in there. I thought Bill Murray's role was really funny. I mean, the fact that he was trying to hit on Sigourney Weaver's character throughout the film was funny. Rick Moranis, Playing the Geek was pretty good. But just a great, solid film, I thought. Nothing bad. And I'm interested to see how how these other movies are. But I didn't really think it was. Seeing it now, maybe if I saw it in '84 in the theaters, it would have had painted a different picture. But for 2024, I think it held up mildly well. I liked the beginning a lot, especially catching the Slimer, seeing the Slimer there. That part made me laugh. There was definitely comedy in there, and it was just a good film. I mean, you had comedy, horror, sci-fi. You had a lot of things mixed into one. But yeah, what was really kind of funny to me was how the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man kind of made his way into the movie, because for a long time playing this game on the digital pinball version, I always thought that was the Michelin tire logo. If you look at the Michelin tire logo, it's like he looks just like the Stay Puft Marshmallow. And so now that I've seen this movie, I know that it's not that. It's the Michelin Man is not the Stay Puft. But really funny to see that part and how it ended up in the film. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you do. It's definitely one of those movies that you should see at least once. And now let's talk about the Pinball Machine. So the Pinball Machine was released by Stern in 2016. There is a pro version, a premium, and a limited edition. And I think this Pinball Machine was released to kind of celebrate the 2016 remake, the reboot. So I'll be interested to see the 2016 reboot, to see why it wasn't that great. It was designed by a man named John Trudeau, and it uses custom speech by Ernie Hudson that to guide the player as he becomes the latest team member in the Ghostbusters. Ernie Hudson was also part of the Ghostbuster team. In the movie, he joins the team in the middle. And what's interesting as well is that AMC Theaters in 2021 gave AMC stub members who bought tickets to see Ghostbusters Afterlife a chance to win a vintage Stern Ghostbuster pinball machine. So that was pretty interesting. I'm not an AMC stub member, but someone who is probably won that machine. So they got to see the movie and they won a pinball machine. So that's pretty cool. And as you guys know, I've played the real thing. Really cool to play it in real life, to see the Slimer toy in action. Yeah, so let's read here. Let's read the this little info they have here. So Ghostbusters highlights the humor of the original Ghostbusters film released in '84. It was designed by John Trudeau to be easy to play but difficult to master. The distinctive playfield features beautiful and unique hand-drawn art by renowned illustrator Jeremy Packer, aka Zombie Yeti. It integrates traditional pinball devices with unique multifunction two-way ramps. That's pretty interesting. Two-way ramps featuring a magnetic diverter and scoring switches. In addition, the game features a modern take on a ball transfer target, combative open field drop targets, right, a ball eject target, a captive ball target, and custom model toys. This table also features an interactive ghost hologram target with animations, paranormal magnetic action slingshots, distinctive ramp architecture, and additional custom model toys. So, without further ado, let's go here. And let's start. And really cool artwork. Look at that artwork. There you can see the Stay Puft Marshmallow. And then there's the Ghostbusters themselves. All right. Wait, let me make this. I can make this darker, right? I like to put this down. Table brightness up. And let's go. So we got a skill shot here. Start scene? Wait. Start scene. Okay, start and wait. I want to start scene and I want to 3 million jackpot. And there you can see the Stay Puft Marshmallow. You can see the fire station, the firehouse, and the storage unit where they kept the ghost in the movie. And there's the Slimer toy. There's the dog. So I don't think the Scaleri brothers were in the first one. I think that might have been based off some of the other movies. Maybe Ghostbusters 2. This machine is kind of based on all of them, apparently. Well, at least the ones until 2016. And I'm kind of curious to know what you guys thought about the first movie. Because I still have to watch the second one. Oop. When I was watching the part with the Marshmallow Man, I couldn't help but think of like Godzilla, and I'm wondering if it was like a parody on Godzilla. There's the storage unit. And I'm looking to play this one again. Like, if it's still at that bar, I'd love to play this again now that I've seen the movie. I remember when I was playing the real version, the extra ball was lit, and I didn't know where to go to get it. But I believe you have to hit that scoop. Now here it is. And that's the voice of Eddie Hudson. Oh, come on! But that is realistic, you know. The momentum of the ball will do that. Oh yeah, now I know that scene. Yep, that's the part where Sigourney Weaver's character was possessed. Well, guys, thank you for watching this Pinball in a Movie feature. Hope you enjoyed. It's always good. I enjoy doing these videos, just talking about the movie, some basic facts, my thoughts, my opinions, and I'm always curious to see, what you think. So, until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe out there.